Alright, our next section that we are going to take a look at this is still looking at Unit 11. Now these are going to be the solutions for the evens. So if we take a look at number 2, we're telling whether or not the ordered pair is a solution in the linear system. So remember that the 5 is our x, the 2 is our y. We have to plug them back into each and see if it's a true statement. So this would be 2 times 5 minus 3 times 2 equals 4. So 5 times 2 is 10, minus 6 is 4, so this one does in fact work. If we take a look at our next one, I have 2 times 5 again, plus 8 times 2 gives me 11. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 16 is not 11, so this one does not work. Remember, in order for this to be a solution, it needs to be true in both, so this is going to be no. Alright, the next couple examples we are going to use elimination to solve the systems. If we take a look at number 4, we need to look at our coefficients. We already have matching coefficients and they are opposite, so we can just set this up by adding these together. My y's cancel out and I'm left with 3x equals 15. Divide both sides by 3 and I have x is equal to 5. I then have to plug it back into one of the equations, so I'm just going to plug it back into the first. 6 times 5 is 30, minus 4y equals 14. Subtract 30 from both sides, and I have negative 4y equals 16. Divide both sides by negative 4, and I have y is equal to negative 4. So now I have my solution, 5, negative 4. This is where those lines will intersect. Alright, moving down to number 6 here. We need to pick a variable that we want to eliminate. I'm going to eliminate my y's, which means I'm going to have to multiply the second equation by negative 3. So when I rewrite, I have 2x plus 9y equals 16. My bottom equation becomes negative 15x minus 9y equals negative 3. My y's cancel out, and I have negative 13x equals 13. Divide both sides by negative 13, and I have that x is equal to negative 1. I then have to plug that back into the original, so 2 times negative 1 will be negative 2 plus 9y equals 16. Add 2 to both sides, so I have 9y equals 18. Divide both sides by 9, and I have y is equal to 2, so my solution here will be negative 1, 2. Alright, jumping down to number 8. This is one where we're going to have to multiply both equations to get a common coefficient. So I'm going to eliminate my x's, which means I'm going to have to multiply the top by 3 and the bottom by 2. So I have negative 6x minus 15y equals 27. My bottom one is going to be 6x plus 22y equals 8. My x's cancel out. Negative 15 plus 22 is going to be 7y. And 27 plus 8 is going to be 35. Divide both sides by 7. And I get y is equal to 5. Now I need to plug this back into either equation to find my value for x. So I have negative 2x minus 5 times 5 equals 9. So this is a negative 25, so to get rid of it I have to add 25 to both sides. So I have negative 2x equals 34. Divide both sides by negative 2, and I have x is equal to a negative 17. So my ordered pair here is negative 17, comma 5. Okay, if you guys can flip the page, we're going to take a look at these last few on the second page. Taking a look at number 10 first. Now we are going to solve using substitution. if we take a look, our second equation has already solved for the y. So we're going to take this negative 5x and plug it in wherever we see x into that first equation. So I'm going to have, we're going to plug that in for y. I take that back. We have y equals. So we're going to take the negative 5x and plug it in for y. So I have x plus 3 times negative 5x equals negative 28. So I have x minus 15x equals negative 28. X minus 15x is a negative 14x equals negative 28. Divide both sides by a negative 14, and I get x is equal to 2. Now, I can plug that back into my second equation. Y equals negative 5 times 2, and my y is going to be equal to negative 10. So my solution here is 2, negative 10. Okay, moving on to our systems where we are going to solve using graphing. If we take a look at our first equation, my slope is going to be negative 1/2, and my b, or my y-intercept, will be at 0, 6. So I'm going to start here at 0, 6, and then I have to go down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2, or I could go up 1 and to the left 2, up 1 and to the left, 2. Again, my line isn't going to be super straight, but it's pretty close. Now if we take a look at the second one, we actually have one of our special case lines, so this is going to be at x equals negative 2. Now this one works out kind of nice because our point of intersection is right here at negative 2, 7. We have one last problem to take a look at, and that is going to be our word problem. It says you call 2 car rental companies to find out their prices. Company A charges $75 plus 30 cents per mile, and Company B charges $80 plus 25 cents per mile. If you are traveling 150 miles, which company would have the better deal? So first we need to set up our equation. If we look at Company A, that's going to be our total, which is y, equals $75 plus 30 cents per mile. So x is going to be equal to my number of miles, and y is going to be that total. My second equation is going to be y equals $80 plus 25 cents per mile. Now, it tells me in the problem that I traveled 150 miles. So they want to know which company has the better deal. So basically what they're telling us here is my x value. So you're going to plug this in for x and find your totals and see which one is the better deal. So if I take my first example, let me go back to the green. I have y equals 75 plus 0.30 times 150. My second equation is going to be y equals 80 plus 0.25 times 150. So when I simplify here, y is going to be equal to $120. And the second one, y is equal to $117.50. So remember, this is for Company A and this is for Company B. The better deal would be spending less money, so Company B is the better deal because you're only spending $117.50. That should do it for your Unit 11 review questions. If you have questions in class, make sure you ask your teachers.